Hello everybody, Gerone Wright here once again, and once again you're joining me on my Gerone Wright YouTube channel here on YouTube. In this video, I'm going to be making some amazing discoveries for you, and they're going to be relating to the I don't know if you can see that pretty well. Can you people? No, I don't know. Maybe I better come back down. Let me go back down again. Why is it taking so long? All right. We're looking at the Great Pyramid. This is a diagram of one of the pyramids of the Great in Egypt. Okay, and it's my position that I've discovered what this device or what this is, this diagram is actually indicating and what's going on. There's one guy that actually calls it a nuclear machine, or a nuclear device, where it was a nuclear power plant. That's what it was described as being. Close but no cookie. Matter of fact, not even close. All right. The only thing, it does develop power, but not not nuclear power. All right. This device, it is a device, people. It is a device to launch projectiles or shoot projectiles into space, like you would expect for a cannon, a gun, or a water cannon, or any other device that creates compression to build up a compression to launch a device. It's my position that these vents, which are in celestial alignment, one is with Orion's belt, and I don't know where the other one is, that these are launching areas where these projectiles can actually be shot into space at different levels. There's a control mechanism behind it all. Now, up here at what they're calling, it's my position that this grand gallery right there, you're looking at, for the grand gallery, is the first barrel of a gun or a cannon which is created. That's the barrel right there of this launching device. All right. Now, in such a scenario of the device that I'm talking about that you need chambers. You have them here. You have the king's chamber and the queen's chamber. Now you have a barrel. You have the chambers. You have the barrel and you have the chambers. So you have your projectile device and you have your exiting tubes. Now, it's my position that this barrel, which is in here, it actually is designed to have several projectile points, almost like reminds me of almost like a machine gun type setup, to whereas the main barrel allows the projectiles to go and be controlled and sent out on either end. Now, what is this device here? In fact, what they call the king's chambers. You see this device right here? Right there? Do you know what that is? Well, where you have a cannon or where you have a barrel, that is the silencer, people. You know what that silencer is called? A baffle. This is the baffle for that device, which dampens what? The sound. Right there. So, what kind of gun or what kind of launching device are we talking about? We're talking about a device similar to this. You see where there is a piston, and then there is a rubber gasket there. See that? See that rubber gasket? Which creates the pressure. You see the barrel that creates the projectile scenario for the projectiles to be fired. You see this piston? Well, lo and behold, people, I want you to look at that again. You see that piston right there? There is a piston device or a compression chamber there in the pyramid. Here is a compression chamber or a cylinder where there's a stone with two, I think they're brass hooks, where this device slides up and down in that chamber, creating a piston effect. Now, what else is being described here? Well, in relation to this piston, there is a steel plate that was found that this strikes against or goes against. It's in relations to this. There's a steel plate that has baffled archaeologists and geologists and everybody because they didn't know what it was actually utilized for and what was the relationship with this. They call this a door. I'm calling it a cylinder, like that is in your automobile or that creates compression in a device, almost like that even in a hypodermic needle, people. Wherever there is compression created, this device is an actuator. It could even be acting as a striker because the metal object, where this object strikes, hitting anything, it could act just like you would with a trigger on a gun. You see what I'm going with this, people? Now, that steel plate, if you Google, I'm telling you, you see that rubber gasket right there? So it's my position that that steel plate should be utilized alongside that square, that sliding supposedly door block. It should be located in proximity to what we have here. Now this is the actual block, or they call it a door, that's in the pyramids, people. So that steel plate that they found, I'm telling you, is a device that creates the compression for launching these objects into space, which I know what the objects are. Now, what else are we looking here for, people? I'm going to set this up. Here's a sprinkler solenoid with a barrel and an air chamber to give you an idea on what is here. Here's a sprinkler solenoid, and it says to power source. Look at this. Look at how our modern day devices, look at all of this, on how they're almost identical to that. Look, people. This is a device that creates the scenario where there is compression. Compression enough to actually project projectiles into space. It can be if in fact that block that I'm telling you is a striker, imagine some form of igniting powder sent down here into this chamber, filled up to a point to where a striker sends off a combustion, either forcing the cylinder up, that piston up, or whatever. I mean, at this point, I've discovered what it is. They make it work. But regardless of the fact, there are projectiles. Imagine you being able to put a straw in your mouth with a spitball. And you're up here, or that spitball is right here. And once the pressure, which is created, that object is spit out this hole with enough force to penetrate our atmospheric layers of our planet. Well, hold on. You're probably saying, well, Gerone, what's the ratio on all of this? Well, people, I'll give you the ratio. The ratio is that back when this pyramid was created, our atmospheric layers would not even have been thus far away. It's my position that through the exhausted chemicals of our planet's core, our atmospheric layers are being pushed, are being expanded further and further away, which is causing that of our moon to be pushed further away. I think as they said that it's at 2 inches per month that our moon is being pushed away from our planet. Well, it's my position. It's the same scenario as if you're blowing up a party balloon, and that expansion has pushed down our atmospheric layers away. Whereas when this device was created, they were closer, and to achieve shooting almost like a dart gun, creating enough pressure to shoot these objects up through our atmospheric layers. That's what this is. This is our first device, maybe not the first, but the first one that has ever been discovered and described as being able to launch material substances from our world into space. This is a launching device, a projectile weapon, or no, I wouldn't call it a weapon, a projectile device that projects objects towards space. Now, it's amazing because a lot of the images that we see today from ancient aliens, and you see where Christ is was being crucified, or something going on with Christ there, where you have these little guys in balls of fire and this, that, and the third, and these rocks, and they're flying over top of that. You know, it's amazing that when you start seeing things like this here, that, and this is not people flying and alive either, people. I mean, what I'm experiencing and what I'm dealing with here is not talking about people. I'm not talking about aliens flying and us flying in space. Like, no, people, that's not happening like that. I'm talking about something totally different of what I'm experiencing about this. Okay? Now, believe me when I tell you that if I found this and discovered this, then I know what the device is used for. All right. Now, we have a device based on creating compression to where there is a pressurized power that forces objects to be blown into space. This scenario that I create of what's happening, there's no way that you can have me describing the Grand Gallery as being the barrel, the Kings and Queen chamber as being the chambers on this device. The King and Queen's chamber. All you have to do is go the King's chamber and the Queen's chamber, and this is the Grand Gallery. And then you have a sliding piston effect which I already done showed you. You have valves. You have these little rooms that create the valves in the scenario. Hold on, let me go back here, people. You see these little areas back here that say this is the fill valve, and you have an exhaust valve. There's the exhaust valve, and you have a fill valve. All of these little things here. This is the fill valve over here, okay, and the exhaust valve, and you have the location where all of this takes place. Everything that is being described. You have fill and exhaust valves. You have the barrel, which is the grand gallery, and you have the chambers. People, this is a gun. This is the chemistry for what we would expect for a gun to be, or a cannon, or a propulsion device, or should I say, a compressurized chamber that creates compression to launch devices or substance materials. People, are you with me on this? Again, I gotta take you back to the piston. If you Google, there was a metal plate which is so many inches of thickness, and by so many, I don't know if the plate that they found at the plate, or what did it be, but I'm telling you that, hold on, let me get that piston back up here where is it at? Oh, here it is here. What they're describing as the door, in fact, they call this the Brinks door or something Brinks door. The guy that found that he used I think this is only about a 12 by 9 square hole, and he had to use this microscope to go in there to find this, and he's calling this a door. I'm telling you that, and it says that it goes to the Queen's chamber. It's like a sliding mechanism. It's my position that is the piston, and you see that rubber sleeve there that's described right there, that rubber, what is that called? A rubber gasket right there. That piece of metal that was found in proximity with this, it's a square piece of metal, a sheet of metal. It's a sheet of metal. Is that rubber gasket which actually creates this device. So that so-called sliding door that they found in the pyramid is actually a piston, and the metal that they found in proximity with it, this rubber, it acts in the way that this does to create compression, a piston. My name is Gerone Wright, and once again, people, I bring you an amazing discovery, and our ancestors were launching objects into space, and I know what they were. My name is Gerone Wright. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.